Welcome back. Today's tutorial is all about image manipulation, and I'm going to show you how to take an image and use text and manipulate it from this to this in Photoshop. This is quite an easy effect to achieve, and I'll take you through all the steps needed so you'll be able to produce this. For those who don't know me, my name is Darren Goddard. I've been working in creative production for over 20 years now, and in these tutorial series I'm going to help you, the viewer, become more productive using InDesign, Photoshop, Illustrator and various other softwares. That's it for the intro. Let's hop into Photoshop and I'll show you how to do this. Here we are in Photoshop where we're going to turn this into this in a few easy steps. So the first thing we need to do is pick a font. It's best to go for a thick, heavy font because you get the best effect. So I quite like Anton, so that's the font I'm going to use. So I'm going to select the text tool, click on the image, reduce the size, and then type in green. Right, there we have it. So we'll OK that, go back to the selection tool, move it over. So what I tend to do as well is always keep a live copy of the font just in case you need to go back. So we'll copy that, hide that, and then select the text, go up to type, and we'll make it into a shape. We can then Command T or Control T on a PC, hold down Shift Constraint, make it 90 degrees, OK that, move it to a rough position, and then Control T again. And then what we need to do is do a right click and go to warp. And then what we can do now is pull the individual points out to get the desired effect to follow the curve. So that's what we need to do. So we'll get the basic shape first. And we'll go over to this side, click on the point, put it over, and then get the handle and just move it over to follow the curve. And then for the top, just pull the handles out and stretch it up. So there we are. We've followed the curve around each side. We can OK that, deselect it, and we can see. So obviously we haven't gone right to the edge. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to speed the video up and tweak it so it goes right to the edge. Right, here we are again. So basically what I've done now is I've gone around the outside, pulling out the mask to where I need it to be on the edge. So the next step would be, with that selected, you hit Control on a PC or Command on a Mac and select, it'll make a selection. So that what we can do then, we need to actually make a copy of this background layer as well. So we drag that, make a copy. And then we click this here, which is the layer mask. And then we can see we've punched out the shape of the text. So the image is only coming through there. You'll see we've got some errors here. So what we can do, as we've created a layer mask, which is indicated by this here, we can go back and we can paint this and add any bits and take any bits off. So what I'll do is I'll wait till the end, I'll wait till we've done both apples because we might have to adjust both of them to make it seamless between the two. So what we'll do now is just repeat the process. So I'll go back to the original. I'll copy that again just in case we need a backup. Select the type tool, type in red, OK that, back to the selection tool, Once again, make a copy, turn that into a shape, rotate it, and pull it down. And then what I'm going to do here, I'm actually going to make sure these are linked, make sure they're both 100. And then I'm just going to pull up and enlarge it by pulling out the handle and then move it into position. I'm going to Control T on a PC, Command T on a Mac, right click and go to warp. And then once again, I'll pull out the handles so that we're covering right to the edge. Don't worry about this overlapping here, because what we'll do is we'll mask that out at the end. Then we'll pull that to there. Click on that one. Pull that to there. So what we can do as well, if we feel like we need some more handles, we've got these grids here in the horizontal and vertical, so we can click them on and it will give us more points. But I think for this purpose, we're okay as we are. Let's just move that out of the way. Go down to there. Obviously, we've got a bit of shadow area in there. Up to there. Pull that one there. And okay that. So that's not too bad. So we'll do the same process again. We'll Control or Command selection of that to make a mask. And then with our background selected, we'll just move it up to there. We'll hit layer mask. So as you can see, we're showing the red apple as well as the green. So what we will do, once we turn that one on, it will disappear and we'll only see the green one where it's supposed to be and the red one where it's supposed to be. So the next step we need to do is repainting the stalks of the apples. So obviously that's the green ones. We click on there, go to the brush tool, and then we paint here where we want it to show back. I'm going to have to reduce the size of my brush because it is extremely large at the moment. And then we can make the hardness a bit tighter. So we go up to there. You can just see it just painting the stalk back in. So if I go too far, so we've got some white in there, what you need to do is reverse the brushes. So down here, we just flick that, and now it will subtract from the mask, like that. X on the keyboard flicks between subtract and add, so you can click backwards and forwards. So we've got the nice stalk coming out now. So now we'll go on to the red apple, select the mask, and do the same thing again. What I like to do is go too far so I can see that I've got it all, and then zoom in and then paint it back out. Zoom out. So now obviously you can see we've got the stalk and we've got the cutouts. So what we'll do now, just to make it look nice, we'll add some kind of background beneath the both of them. Just grab the vignette tool, gradient, and just draw a gradient across. Let's make it 90. Zoom out a bit. Come back to the gradient. We've got this here, so we can pull this focal point. And then if we like, we can even add a little drop shadow as well. So once again, we can go to the brush tool, which is B on the keyboard for a shortcut. And if you do a right click on the mouse, you've got the different presets. So you can actually make it thinner as well. So we'll just reduce that a bit. And then we'll change that to the foreground is black. And we can see we're right on the right colour. So we've just done a little test there. We need to make the brush bigger. So we'll up the size of it and just see. And we'll make it quite soft because it's going to be like a shadow. So, and then a bit larger, I think. Again, just do a little test. So it's Command Z, Control Z on a PC to go back. So we can just draw a little drop shadow there. And a little drop shadow there. Zoom out slightly. And then we can make that multiply and reduce the opacity. So that's the easy way how to manipulate text and an image in Photoshop. This brings us to the end of the tutorial. If you've enjoyed this and would like more content like this, please consider giving me a like and subscribing to the channel. Click here for the next video I think you'll enjoy. Thanks for watching and take care.